Welcome back to Social Club down south this week because the Redmen boys have got a game against Leicester City, which we'll be talking about in another Social Club video. But the big game yesterday, of course, was Man United versus Southampton. Man United won the EFL. I say EFL. It's League Cup final. League Cup final.
All Worthingtons.
Yeah, exactly. So, which is why we've kept the two apart. Sam for United People's TV, Freddie from The Ugly Inside, and Flav joins me looking very smart.
Really?
Yeah, you do. You look smart. From the Fighting Cock and obviously Bull Street, you know, Flav. So the big question is, with Man United winning the EFL Cup.
League Cup.
League Cup. Let's just say League Cup from now on. Are Man United back? Does this mean they're back?
No. The whole season.
Join us next week.
The season as a whole. Right. Anyway, all jokes aside, the season it's a cup. We did well to get there, but it's not the marker that's going to be remembered at the end of the season. Whether or not we finish in the top four is probably the most important thing. But United, you know, look at us since November. The only game we've lost is Hull, and there's been I can just see a lot of United's backbone coming back because we've been pretty limp in the last couple of years.
So what are the differences then from? Because the thing is with this, everyone says the League Cup doesn't matter, but it is a marker because if you do well at the end of the season, finish top four with a League Cup with a trophy looks great.
Well, winning silverware in February can never be a bad thing for a season. It can only be a galvanising point. And United, as I said, you know, only lost one since November, but we've been playing. There's been games like, take the last 4 games for example, comfortable 3-0 win over St Etienne at Old Trafford. Then we were 1-0 down away at Blackburn. We came back to win 2-1, and a comfortable 1-0 away win in St Etienne. And then we 2-0 up against Southampton and scored a late winner. And that's United. There's been loads of different games this season. We've been winning games in different ways, but we've hardly lost. We're really hard to beat, and that's something that Mourinho's brought back straight away.
You were obviously at the game as well yesterday. What did you see in Man United that makes you think that they could? I mean, they're not going to win the league this year, but 1, finish top 4, 2, actually challenge next year.
What I'd say is that you almost see the fighting spirit now back at United. You know, Mourinho has probably channeled those Ferguson eras. You know, Van Gaal and the Moyes eras are brushed under the carpet now. Mourinho's a new era. He's using Ferguson's experience. I reckon they've probably got some sort of communication behind the scenes, and I think Mourinho's channeling those major trophies. But as Sam said, you know, the League Cup can be a catalyst for teams to push on in the season. Now let's look at Swansea when they won it, 5-0 against Bradford. The rest of that season they pushed on and they finished really well. Birmingham City, when they beat Arsenal, they
went
the other
down.
side of it.
Went down.
It's one of those, but a major trophy. It's on the mark, and you know what we've seen this week is that United have taken over Liverpool as the most amount of major trophies.
There's something in that. Is it Mourinho didn't? There was a general idea that Fergie didn't want Mourinho, right, at the start of the year.
Well, no, Fergie didn't want Mourinho to replace him directly at Man United, and then we've had.
What did he want then? What did Fergie want?
How do you know that? Was it in his book?
No, I spoke to him. No,
behind the scenes, he's been challenging Fergie for years.
It was generally what is considered to be the truth. And he got Moyes, and he saw someone who's, you know, been at a club for a long time, good at bringing through youth players, loyal to his players. He could saw a lot of similarities with himself in Moyes, which really was the worst decision he's ever made. And then Van Gaal, and I was the exact same. When Fergie left, I was on a massive high horse as a United fan. Said, no, we don't need Mourinho's style and tactics. We can go for Moyes. We'll get it good. 3 years later, I'm so in bed with the devil. It's like, Mourinho, please come in. And it's kind of proof is in the pudding because United now, everybody is talking about United. Everyone hates United again. And that is a massive aspect of it because you've all laughed at us for 2 years.
And you are a fan of Mourinho's ways, aren't you?
I like his dark arts. Yeah, I like the way he manipulates the press. He's nice. How he works and finds situations and deviates away from his players and shields his players from blame is fantastic. It's like he's the best at it in the world. And it's almost before him, there was like mind games, but like you remember Ferguson and Wenger era, they weren't mind games. They were kind of just there was kind of a vitriol.
Prods, don't they, as well?
Yeah. Whereas Mourinho's just even when he doesn't need to do it, he seems to do it, and he finds advantages where there wouldn't necessarily be any. But I still think he's a little bit outdated.
Do you know what I think? I think there's a reason why Mourinho wins the League Cup so often.
It's a psychology.
It's absolutely psychology. He sees it as an open goal to a point because all the other big teams don't give it the respect it deserves. Because no, it does. He wins that. No, but he wins that. He wins that tournament, right? He wins that tournament, and then all of a sudden, everyone's going, oh, "He's doing it again. He's winning trophies."
No one's saying that.
People talk. They are.
Who?
It's part of it. No, but we're talking about it right now. It looks like it's working.
But that's the
with
top
Man
line
United.
of the conversation.
I know that, but I tell you what, you've got it in the bank. You've got it in the bank. And in terms of how people talk about managers and if they're successful or not, I understand the League Cup's not as important as it used to be, but he sees that as a trophy that you can win in your first 6 or whatever it is months of your career at a club, and you're winning trophies straight away. And it's all that's part of those little dark arts that he does.
Well, I would say shame on other managers for not taking advantage of that then, because surely if Arsene Wenger had, say for the last, 5 years, won it 3 times, maybe there'd be a little bit less pressure on him. And if that's what it is, then perfect. That's exactly what it does.
There wouldn't be.
It cannot be a bad thing.
It all adds up, I think.
There would not be less pressure on Arsene Wenger if he only had won the League Cup in the last 3 years. That isn't enough for any team looking to kick on. It isn't a marker of the Man United are back. Either they're back or they ain't, whether they won that trophy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That one game doesn't change that. But
it can change the mood.
And you shouldn't even have won the game. I mean,
well, we did. We scored more goals, so...
Well, we're going to do a video on Freddie's channel talking about Southampton and if they were robbed in that game.
Can I ask you something?
But there is something in the mood of it. There's something that's great. There's something great about winning a trophy. Give me that at least.
Yeah, but you're talking about how Mourinho looks at the League Cup. Mourinho looks at every single competition like that. United are playing their first team every game, even at St Etienne away with 3-0 up. 1 goal is all we needed to score 5. He basically put out our strongest team a few days before we got into the League Cup final. It's just Mourinho's mindset.
Which is the correct mindset for me, especially as a fan as well. If you're going away and you're spending money at St Etienne, you don't want to then see a second string team turn out. Like we had that Tottenham had that in Dortmund. You know, going up against one of, in form-wise that season, Dortmund were great, and we've just flung it down the drain.
So is 6th and the League Cup good enough?
No.
Is that seen as an awful season? Where does it lie?
Awful's not the right word.
Where does it lie? Because he won't get sacked if he finishes 6th and win the League Cup, will he?
He won't get sacked no matter where he finishes this year.
Okay.
Because United have tried with Moyes, they've tried with Van Gaal, and it's just not worked. But Mourinho, I've said it, he wanted the United job before he came back to Chelsea last time, and he didn't get it. He wanted to replace Fergie, and he didn't get it. He's now got the job he has wanted for time. And he wants to bed himself in. And he is bedding himself in. And the fans are getting behind him. We are so united behind him.
That's it. It's the mood. That's my point. It's momentum. You can start to feel like something's happening there. That's what I believe. That's why I think the League Cup is
It's really easy to feel that something is happening. You can see it. I said at the start of the season, going into it, it's why so many people said that United could win the title this year. It had a great squad on paper.
Yeah.
It's just it didn't click straight away.
Yeah.
Now it's still not in full gear, but we're just very hard to beat. And if you're doing that and then you're not losing when you're playing crap, and sometimes nicking a win, maybe you could say that performance yesterday was like that.
Yeah.
All builds.
Finally, obviously got to talk about Ibrahimovic, who, I mean, two great goals. I mean, great. The second goal was a great header. I got really annoyed. We were watching it together. I thought the defending was awful for that second goal, which again we can get into. But more importantly, this guy's 35. No doubt he's had an amazing season. But how important is he for the future of Man United? If we're saying Man United are back, how many years has he got, and how long can he be the focal point of the team?
I think we're looking at him as a real catalyst for a change in mindset, because Man United used to be arrogant winners. Winning was their mentality. That is all Zlatan has done throughout his entire career. It's just win things wherever he's gone. So he doesn't know anything else apart from to win. And to have a manager like Mourinho come in and have that mindset from a managerial perspective, and Ibrahimovic to be on the pitch and leading by example, is helping change the mindset of United's players. And you really can see it in their performances. And he's ridiculous. I mean, he's got 26 goals now this season, 35 in a league that everybody thought he was going to fail in.
Well, he's not 26 goals in the league, is it?
26
so
goals.
14 goals in the league.
50.
15.
50. I'm sorry.
So.
It's crucial that they keep hold of him. He's like, you say he's 35, but he plays like a peak a striker in his prime.
Yeah.
He's the maestro.
It's crucial that Man United keep hold of him, and he's said that he wants Champions League football.
If we're looking at in terms of the actual where I see him in the future, I think next year I'm 100% at home next year, but I want him there for one more year, and then for Rashford to come in underneath him, and then replace him as our focal point up front. And I think that makes sense. And the same thing as Rooney leaving, and hopefully maybe Griezmann coming in. There's a transition of an old guard, of certain older players that can come in and do a job in the squad. And Ibrahimovic, as I said, best free transfer ever. I said that previously. Probably isn't the best free transfer ever, but for me right now, what I'm seeing him do at United, it's just phenomenal. We needed it.
A final question. Should Rooney have lifted the trophy?
Well, we'll leave that to up to the
You're
voters.
gonna answer the comments?
No,
We'll let-
we'll leave that to the voters.
Okay, well.
It was nice,
Dodged
wasn't
it,
it? It was
didn't
like a care in the community thing, isn't it? Wheel him out, have a little lifted. That was worse than John Terry. What John Terry did.
That was
not.
that
worse.
was worse.
Than that. Look at him trying to.
Fred,
wind
what do you
up.
think?
Do you know what? He was meant to come on, wasn't he? And then
Yeah,
when
and they scored.
then they scored, obviously wasn't needed. So it shows the mentality of the team now that he's not needed in the football club. So
Yeah.
as Sam
Well,
said, he's probably going to leave in the summer or somewhere
Yeah,
in
well,
the
you're
next
looking
18 months.
at
Has he lifted anything before?
FA Cup. Oh, was he on the pitch for the FA Cup?
Of course, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
But I think you can tell that he's going out because it was at the 74th minute in a cup final. We needed a goal, and he brought on Rashford instead of Rooney. So.
Okay, so let's know, are Man United back? How important is this League Cup victory? And Wayne Rooney, should he have lifted the trophy at the end of the game, considering he didn't come on, but he was club captain? Let us know in the comments below. We're going to be talking about Harry Kane and if he's the best striker in Europe. I'm sure you might want to say something about Zlatan there. So join us for that one. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like. As I say, let us know what you think in the comments below. But most importantly, subscribe to Ball Street.